like to congratulate Yale on a great victory. We respected our opponent. We played them a couple years ago, and they played us tough, and we knew exactly what we're, getting ourselves into. We knew we'd have to play well to win. We did not take good care of the ball. We turned it over too much, but it was a great game. Obviously, they made big shots, and John got hot, and we just couldn't guard him. He made some big plays and big buckets, and that's what guys got to do at the end of things.
All right, let's.
I'm going to go ahead and finish.
Oh, I'm sorry, Coach.
We were in foul trouble from the very beginning. Obviously, the decision to flagrant two, Chad Baker, that's a pretty tough call. He had gotten hit about 5 seconds earlier, got tangled up, got a little bit of an elbow. They let it go. Maybe nobody saw it. And about 5 seconds later, Chad hit him. It was inappropriate. Clearly a flagrant one. The fact that it was elevated to a flagrant two is a decision that the official had to make. But it's obviously a tremendous impact on the outcome. Chad is one of our best players. He's one of our very best playmakers, and was a huge part of our game plan. And so to lose him in that situation was really, really disruptive to our team on both ends of the floor.
All right, let's have questions for student athletes. We have Chris Moore, Denver Jones, and Jaylin Williams with us. And if you could direct questions to specific student athletes, we'll start right over here.
Ben Rabb, Yale Daily News. For all the players, playing against Yale, the Ivy League, hasn't been to this tournament many times before. Did you guys expect this team to come out with so much grit and determination?
Chris?
Yes, we did. We know it's March Madness. We know what the situation is. Everybody playing like dependent on it, and hats out to those guys. Man, they played a very great game.
Denver?
Yeah, I mean, we expected them to come out, make shots tonight. Obviously, down the stretch, they made some good plays. They ended up putting them over the hump at the end.
Jaylin?
So we know they won their league, so they came in this tournament with a lot of confidence, especially, first round playing against Auburn. A lot of people probably didn't think they were going to win the game, so they came in the game with a different step in their movements and making shots, and they just played very well tonight.
For Jaylin, obviously disappointing loss, but can you talk about your time at Auburn and what it's meant to you to be an Auburn Tiger and to be able to play with these guys this year?
Yeah, so my whole time being here, I done been on about 10 different teams since I've been here. So, but this team is very special. We all get along, we all hang out, we all do all type of different activities together, play the game, get along. We always stuck together no matter what. Even today at the locker room, we knew what we could have done better, but we stuck together still to this day. And hopefully, when I'm gone, I still stay in touch with these guys, and it's gonna be my best friends forever, the rest of my life. So.
Justin Ferguson, Auburn Observer. For Denver and Chris, just number 4 for Yale. Just talk about the challenges of guarding him, especially when he got hot like that early in the second half.
Honestly, when you put in that situation, honestly, you just try and defend him the best you can, make every catch difficult for him, make every shot difficult. But he hit some tough shots tonight. Obviously, that gave him a little bit of a run towards the end of the game. He just had a great night tonight.
Yeah, man, we knew the scouting report. When we was coming in the game, we stuck to it for the most part. But like Denver said, man, he made some big shots, and You know, when guys making big shots like that, it's kind of hard to overcome. So.
More questions for student athletes? Anything else? All right, we'll dismiss them, then return to questions for Coach. Questions for Coach Pearl? We'll start right here.
Coach, can you just talk about this group of guys and what the season's kind of meant to you as a whole?
You know, it's tough to reflect on the season when, you know, you just go through one of the most disappointing losses in your career. I've been in the 12 spot. We've had these great wins. I think this is the biggest upset in the NCAA tournament that I think I've experienced. I'm glad we lost to a really good team in Yale, great kids, great coaches. As a Jewish American coach, I'm really proud of Danny Wolf as one of the best Jewish basketball players in the country. Some people are afraid to sort of point that out, get uncomfortable with it. I'm just not. And so I'm proud of him. But Auburn had a historic year. We were picked in the middle of our league. We wound up being one game out of first in the regular season. We got hot late. The last game we lost, I think, was at Tennessee 3 weeks ago. This team has done so many great things. So I'm very proud of them. And like these guys said, they got along really, really well together. And they made history. This is the fourth different team at Auburn that has won a championship in the last 7 years. 2 regular season, 2 tournaments. They represented Auburn really well.
On the aisle. Yep, right here.
Coach, throughout the season, you talk to us as the media and call basketball a game of matchups. How did you losing Chad Baker-Mazara, change the way you matched up with Yale today?
It was huge. They have a great defensive guard in Bez. Bez is a great defensive guard. The other guards are better offensively than they are defensively. And so, Denver Jones had a really good offensive game, but we needed that other guard out there offensively. Denver was a little bit under the weather. He had to play through that, and so he wound up playing more minutes under the weather, and Chris Moore to play more minutes, and KD had to play more minutes. So we just weren't as deep or as fresh. I think they took a shot at Chad. They hit him, and he retaliated. You can't retaliate, but they hit him first.
Bruce, Tim Booth with the AP. Did you get 2 questions? Did you get any explanation from the refs why it was elevated from a 1 to a 2?
Well, I think perhaps a couple of words. The fact that it was serious, maybe, or intentional. Chad lined him up and retaliated. So, by book, or if that's the wording they'll use as a flagrant 2, but it's had a huge impact on the game. And I think if he called it a flagrant run, I don't think that was a flagrant one. It was excessive. It was. How many flagrant 2s are there in games versus flagrant 1s? That's a big good discussion. Let's just say of all the flagrants, in my experience, 90% maybe once, maybe 10%. Tough to get here after all year long. I don't even know if we had a flagrant 2 all year.
And then was Broom okay there at the end? He kind of got caught
I don't know. I don't know. He got tangled up pretty good there, didn't he? But Janai had a great year, carried this team, particularly the offensive end, improved tremendously defensively. We rely on him a great deal, and he's one of the best centers in all of college basketball as an All-American.
Bruce, you're up by 10 with 7.5 to go, and you know the offense, a lot of turnovers, missed shots. What do you think the biggest difference was? Was it something that Yale started doing differently, or what you guys were doing differently just for the offense to cool off like that down the stretch?
Well, we turned it over, and I think that was probably the biggest takeaway. We did not get a ton of easy ones. We didn't kind of run without the ball, and we put the ball in Chad's hands a lot late to make plays, and so we really offensively we lost a huge breakdown guy for us. But I would say it's our turnovers. Yale played solid defensively. Mahomie was 9 for 11 from the foul line, and so he was on the ground a lot. I'm going to be anxious to see how and we just fouled him too much.
You guys were 24-0 against non-quadrant 1 opponents this year. You were blowing.
I'm sorry.
You were 24-0 against non-quadrant 1 opponents this season. You've been blowing teams out all season. At what point did it become clear that this Yale team was not going to go away, even when you had 10-point leads?
Yeah, we didn't expect them to go away ever. Listen, this was not. It's funny. I heard Jay Billis say some things today. Give Yale credit for making those plays. This has nothing to do with us not taking them seriously. Nothing. They outplayed us in many categories. They made shots. They guard us. They know how to fall. They know how to get the whistle to blow. And the whistle blowed a lot. They went to the line 31 times. It's a lot.
Coach D. Jackson, CBS 42 in Birmingham. I know we've talked a lot about Chad, but I was curious to know, in a game this close and with a player that has that much impact, what did you say to him to better himself? And number two, how do you use that as a teachable moment for the other guys going into next season as far as discipline?
Yeah, we all have to be accountable for things, and we recognize that. I visited with him a little bit at halftime, and he felt badly about it. And wish he had a do-over, but you don't punt it. A lot of aspects of the game. Give Yale credit. They played great. They played defense. We turned the ball over too much, and that's not disguise the fact that we missed one of our best players. He's one of our top 2 or 3 players.
Bruce, kind of an awkward question here, but you guys won a lot of games by a lot of points this year. Didn't get into very many close games this season. Did you feel like down the stretch the lack of close games played a part, or what? I
don't know. We missed a couple free throws, but we got a couple of offensive rebounds on the free throw set, so that played into our hands. Got us to where we had a chance to win the game based on our, let's say, offensive free throw set execution. So it'll be interesting to see in those last 2 shots with Janai on the ground, all the contact that was there.
We have one question on Zoom. Let's go to Dan Tortora on Zoom.
Coach Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. You spoke about being picked where you were picked to start off the season and the success that your team had. I know that this is a rough patch moment, but when you reflect on this season, what are the positives that you take away from you as you build forward at Auburn?
Well, I think that this was a team that our fans liked as much as any I've had in the 10 years I've been at Auburn. Like I would say the 2019 Final Four team, that was a special team, had a special run. Certainly one of the great teams we've ever had, maybe the best team we've ever had at Auburn. I think that Walker Kessler and Jabari Smith's year, where we were number 1 in the country for about 4 weeks, and won the regular season. Didn't finish great that year, but that was a team I think that our fans really enjoyed. Our fans love this team. They love their energy. They love their passion. They love their emotion. They love the fact that they beat every team they were supposed to beat except tonight.
We have time for one last question. We'll go right here.
Coach, you haven't lost many games shooting better than 50% from the field. You guys shot 51% from the field. Can you characterize for us, where you felt the difference in the game was and kind of what made this different for you?
Well, I think, our second half defense wasn't as good. We didn't turn them over as much. We succumbed to fatigue a little bit. They made a bunch of shots offensively. We turned the ball over too much in the second half to win.